Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a spiritual idea that might just flip your whole understanding of prayer upside down. We're talking about the concept that a no from above could actually be the biggest yes you've ever received.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You pray, you beg, you pour your heart out for something you want so badly. That job, that person, that healing, and you get silence. That sting of disappointment is real, and it can seriously make you wonder what's going on.
But what if I told you that pain isn't really about the no itself? What if it's actually coming from how we're looking at the situation? A really powerful insight from Islamic wisdom suggests we might be missing the whole point.
The great scholar Syaikh Ibnu Atha'illah really hit the nail on the head with this one. He's saying the problem isn't the denial. It's our failure to see the divine wisdom behind the denial. If we could just understand the why, that pain would literally just dissolve into peace.
So, okay, how do we get that understanding? Well, it all starts with a major reframe. We need to stop seeing prevention as a punishment and start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerful form of protection, an act of love that's shielding us from things we can't even begin to see.
To help us get our heads around this, the source material gives us three amazing analogies. Think of them as snapshots of what this divine love looks like in our world. The father, the mother, and the doctor. Each one shows how saying no can be the most caring thing to do.
First, let's picture a loving dad taking his kid for a shot. The kid is crying, it hurts for a second, but the father knows it's for their long-term health. Or think of a mom who won't give her child that extra piece of candy they're screaming for. Her no isn't mean, it's proof of her love.
And it's the exact same thing with a compassionate doctor, right? They might tell you to stop eating all your favorite foods, but they're not doing it to be cruel. They're doing it because they want you to heal. In every single case, a little bit of temporary pain is a trade-off for lasting well-being. The withholding is the care.
Now, as great as those examples are, they're just a tiny little echo of a much, much bigger reality. If human beings can show that kind of love by withholding something, just try to imagine that same mercy on a divine scale.
There's this beautiful teaching from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that just puts everything into perspective. He painted this picture of a mother's fierce protective love for her child and asked, would she ever harm that child? Of course not. Then he explained that God's mercy for us is infinitely, unbelievably greater than even that. So, if a mother wouldn't, why would we ever think a no from the most merciful is anything but love?
And this is the absolute heart of it. That thing that feels like pain. That thing that feels like a harsh denial. That might be the exact package a hidden blessing was delivered in. It's an act of mercy, wrapping a gift of grace, and what, from the outside, just looks like a tough time.
But the wisdom here isn't just about protecting us from some unseen danger. Nope, it goes even deeper. When our worldly wants aren't met, it can actually be a kind of spiritual redirection.
So the source explains that when you're denied something in this life, it might be a way of putting you on a very special track, the path of the Auliya, who are the saints, the friends of God. And if you look at their lives, they were often people who had very little of this world stuff, whether it was money, health, or status.
And check this out, because this is where the perspective really shifts. The way this world, the dunya, is valued from a divine perspective, it's worth less than a fly's wing. It's given out freely to anyone, but for his most beloved servants, they're protected from it, kept free from its distractions so they can focus on their spiritual journey.
So all of this brings us to this incredible, beautiful paradox that's right at the center of this whole idea. The withholding is the actual gift.
This quote from the incredible scholar Ash-Shazili just sums it all up perfectly. He's saying that when you don't get something, it's not because you're being punished. It's an act of deep, deep compassion. And that last line, that's the whole ballgame. Therefore, not giving is, in essence, giving. Wow.
So practically, what does this mean for us? It means we need to change the story we tell ourselves. Instead of asking, why did this get taken from me? We start asking, what am I being protected from? Or maybe, where am I being redirected? It's not a rejection, it's a redirection. You didn't lose something, you were given the gift of peace.
So we'll just leave you with this final thought to really let sink in. The next time a door slams shut in your face, just pause and ask yourself, what if this no isn't a rejection at all? What if it's an incredible act of mercy, protecting you from a dead end and saving you for something far, far greater than you could have ever imagined for yourself?